let's go into some stock up, stock down. We have some teams trending upward. We talked about these teams: the Lions, the Steelers, the Giants. All three of them, not much expected from any of them this year, right? A lot of people talking about, oh, this might be a year Mike Tomlin doesn't,
Doesn't have
get,
the winning
yeah,
record.
doesn't have the winning record, doesn't make the playoffs. They have Mitch Trubisky, blah blah blah. They're saying all that. Um, Lions are the Lions, right? They've been a disaster forever, and the Giants, still no big things expected from them. Even though they have a new coach. But yeah, all three of these teams,
We're kind of waiting on what's gonna really go on with them, but
right?
they seem to be
They're
trending in the
trending
right way.
upward, right? The Steelers and the Giants both got wins last week, and the Lions. I mean, the Steelers and the Giants, yeah, and the Lions kept it close against the Eagles, um, and showed that they couldn't, put some points on the board. Took advantage of their playmakers on offense. So, all three teams look to be maybe better than what the preseason hype or lack of hype around them would have suggested.
Right.
Um, so they're all definitely trending in the right direction. Some teams with some concerns, stock trending down. The Broncos. Um, you know, I would have thought they would have dominated the Seahawks,
Yeah, me too.
and they left the Seahawks in the game. I don't know. I just think there more has to be done there. They have to get that offense rolling. They have to cut the mistakes. They can't be fumbling on the goal line. Their defense has to play better. I mean, they really have to just improve in all areas.
Yeah, they
Um,
need to improve in
th-
mostly their offense though.
they should be able to, right? I don't think it's you know, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities that in 2 3 weeks from now they're completely dominating people.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, just based off 1 week's performance, week one, um, looks like they have some work to do. The Rams, we talked about it. They were the opening game against the Bills.
Yeah, that was kind of concerning.
Yeah, they just weren't able to hang with them. They were able to hang with them while the Bills made a bunch of mistakes. And then
Yeah.
after that, Bills just pulled away, and there was nothing the Rams could do. Um, you know, Missing some pieces after that Super Bowl run. Stafford maybe not as healthy.
As they made it to be.
Yeah, we've heard rumblings that might be the case this offseason. So, yeah, a little bit of concern there. I think they'll still be a good team, but they got to work on some things, figure some things out, and yeah, move on from there. The Colts keep it close against the Texans.
Yeah, that's something that should have
Yeah,
not happened
I
at
mean
all.
it's a divisional game, right? But still, you would expect the Colts to pull that one out. Instead, I mean, they end up in a tie, so at least it's not a loss. But I would expect better from them. They picked up a lot of solid pieces on defense.
Yeah.
They still got Jonathan Taylor, who should certainly put up great numbers for them.
Yeah.
So some concern in Indy after a performance like that against the Texans, where they should have been able to take care of business. Even if it happens sometimes, teams play you close. You got to find a way to win those games.
Yeah, you can't let those
Yeah,
games get away.
you can't.
Had
Yeah,
they caught one of those touchdowns, that game is not going overtime, and Indy's going back home with a win.
right, right. 49ers. We talked about them as well. Just didn't look great. Maybe it's all blamed on the weather. Maybe it's Trey Lance just isn't that good. Maybe there's just some regression there. I don't know what it is.
I
They
think it's a
just
combination of uncertainty and um the conditions obviously weren't great, but you find a way to win in bad conditions.
right.
You find a way to get wins and get your team rallied up and put together something. And it just seemed like San Fran just couldn't get anything rallying. They were fumbling the ball, turning things over. The heartbeat of their offense was Debo. I think Kittle was a huge miss. Like it's huge not having George Kittle on your team. Um, Not only just receiving wise, but blocking wise. He's a big part of their blocking schemes. And Trey Lance is there's a huge question mark with that. So we don't really know what the status is with Trey Lance. Although, um, he is the starter. It's kind of like, do you fully believe in a guy like that? So
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. Last team is the Cowboys. They didn't look very good at all against the Bucks. Um, I as someone who's not a fan of the Cowboys, didn't really expect much from them, knowing their roster situation looks even worse now with Dak being injured. Um, but yeah, just you know, there you know there was some debate about, oh, are the Eagles gonna win the NFC East, or is it gonna be the
The
Cowboys?
Cowboys,
And it's
yeah.
like, sure, the Cowboys have been the recent winners most of the time, but I mean they have the worst division in football, and they haven't even been able to just claim it as their own, right?
Right.
So now with the pieces that they lost, and now injury to Dak, it's kind of out the window. I think it's
It's
up for the taking
unfortunate.
now, right? And then you see the Giants and the Commanders. Maybe they're one of those teams is better than last year. The Eagles certainly got better pieces. They look to be a better team than last year. Yeah, things just don't look good
There's
for the Cowboys,
yeah,
man.
they have a lot of problems online. Their receivers,
Plus the NFC East. I mean, those divisional games are always
yeah,
close.
they're really
It's
meaningful.
always a crapshoot, even if you're a good team, right? So now you're the Cowboys, you're injured, you're probably gonna drop a bunch of games to non-divisional opponents, and then
Right.
when you gotta play your divisional opponents, now all of a sudden
You
you're
have to
on
get
the
everything together.
yeah, you're maybe not as good as them now, or you're maybe it's the playing field is even.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with the Cowboys. They might be in for a rough season. Um,
They might end up having to draft a quarterback,
yeah,
depending on
I mean,
Dak's like status, health
I
status.
I don't know if they do. I think it's tough for them. Like I think
They paid Dak, so that's part of the
right,
problem.
exactly. They just paid him. He's still fairly young. It would be smart for them to draft a quarterback. Maybe not probably not a first rounder, but maybe like a mid round guy, another guy in the third round, fourth round. Because I mean, it's clear they need some insurance. Because
Yeah,
Dak's getting injured, and yeah, it's
and there's
just
no
not
real
looking good for them.
certainty
I
with
mean, the
Dak.
problem is too though they have a lot of holes to fill, right? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
their line is
their
not what it
line is
was.
not looking good. It's like, do you spend a third round guy and a quarterback that might be a backup, or do you try and go get a decent lineman? Because you could find a good lineman in the third round if you're lucky. So yeah, it's a tough call, but yeah, Cowboys definitely another team trending down after what we've seen from them in week one.